today's session, like we are going to see about EC2, what is an EC2, and what we can do with the EC2. In parallel, can everyone download the link which has been shared in the channel group, which is a mobile external. So if everyone is using a Windows machine, so that particular software is required. If anyone using Linux, so that is not required. But if anyone using Windows, will be requiring that. So shall we start it? Last week we were discussing about VPC, and we know like why we need a VPC, and so what are the main components that VPC can have, and so how the VPC will work. So today, like we will be discussing about instance or EC2. So for coming into the EC2, like same way, like you can type EC2 on the search box, and you will get, yeah. So you click on that, please. When you do, like you will be landed on this dashboard screen. So this particular screen shows like every information that is there in the left side. So here it will show the list of instances running and dedicated host, elastic IPs. So I'll say like what are elastic IPs, instances, key pairs, load balancers, placement group, security group, snapshots, and volumes. Okay. So these are like primary components for a EC2 instance. So like elastic IP key pairs, security groups. These are all like kind of a primary items that that will be taken care. Okay. So for creating an EC2 instance, can you click on instances? Okay. Uh, Click on launch instance. So for creating an EC2 instance or a virtual machine, so you have to come into the instance screen, and then you need to click on launch instance. So when you click on a launch instance, the first step is like choosing an AMI. AMI is nothing but Amazon Mission Image. So that's like a language that called in Amazon, but general term it is like an OS. So whatever the operating system we need. So there are like a lot different OS that are available. For example, if you see in this page, we have Amazon Linux, Red Hat, SUSE Linux, Ubuntu, and Windows. So also like there will be like descriptions and what are the things that this particular OS or AMI has in it. So if you see like the first one, so it is an Amazon Linux 2 AMI, which is like the latest version of Amazon Linux, and they give like 5 years support, and they have a few packages that got installed. They'll be listing out those packages. So same way, like if you go through all the OS, you will be seeing lot different information. So when it comes to Windows, most of the Windows AMIs will be Windows Server. It will be like 2016, 19, 20, 2020. So some will have containers, some will not have containers. Enterprise edition, standard edition. So Windows, like there are like lot different options available. And as we were discussing, you could see like free tier eligible. So if you are using the free account, you need to choose a AMI which has like free tier eligible. There will be some images that will not be and comes under free tier, so they will not have a free tier images. Okay, yeah. So when you see on the left end, so you see like quick start, my AMI, AWS Marketplace, community AMI, and free tier only. So my AMI is
Excuse
like
me, sir.
uh,
Sorry to interrupt you. From where to come here for AMI?
Launch instance. So, Amit, can you repeat the same step? EC2, yeah, click on that, and then launch instance. From dashboard, you can click on launch instance.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so my
Kirti,
AMI,
what is your question? 1 minute, Bhupati.
yeah, sure.
Kirti, somebody raised hand. What is your doubt? Okay, they removed. Okay, okay.
Yeah, okay. So my AMI is nothing but you can use whatever the AMI that they are providing. Also, you can create your own OS. So there are like a lot of different tools that supports to create your own AMI or OS based on the core OS. Like we can have a core OS as CentOS or anything, and you can build that OS and you can make it as a AMI, and that will comes as my AMI. AWS Marketplace is like it's a market where you will have different lot of options. There are like lot of companies, they provide distinguished OS. That uh, that will come like pre-packed with the softwares that are required. So if you see, if you need to deploy a VPN, so we have a OS, OpenVPN OS, and that helps you to create the OpenVPN EC2 instance, and you can access the VPN. But one thing you need to make sure is like these kind of softwares are like costlier. You need to go through the documentation before purchasing this Amazon Marketplace or subscribing to the Amazon Marketplace, because these are all like a paid version, and that are supported by the third party companies, not by the AWS. So they support like even we can also contribute to the AWS marketplace, and you can sell it. So, but make sure whatever you are doing. So these are all like more cost involved, and simple EC2 instance will cost you like $100. So be careful while playing with the marketplace. Okay, and community AMI are like the AMI that are available for free versions. So some OS like CentOS, Ubuntu, uh, Fedora, these kind of OSs are like a community OS, and you can see those community AMIs underneath. Okay, yeah, these are all like some community AMIs. Okay, can you click on the quick start? Okay. So so let's, for this example, we can go with the first one, Amazon 2 Linux. So yeah. So Amazon 1 minute, like Amazon 2 Linux has been written on top of Red Hat. So whatever the Red Hat has, like these things will be there in the Amazon Linux. Okay. So if you see, like you have a 64-bit and a 64-bit ARM processor. So these are like two different processors. So you'll be aware of what ARM processor is. So when you click on ARM processor, it will go and run on ARM ARM processor based machines. Okay. So this is the difference. But for our example, we'll stick with x86. So this is a common processor. So we use on day-to-day basis. So let's stick with it. Yeah. Now click on select. So once you select, like it will take you to the next step where you need to choose the instance type. So instance type is nothing but the different size of an instance. Okay. So each instance has a different purpose. So here you see like family. They have mentioned the family. T2, T3, and if you scroll down like T3A, C, uh, if you scroll down or M, so these kind of instances will be there. G, yeah. So what is the meaning of this? Are like T T2 and T3 are like general commonly used family types, but T2 is like older type, T3 is the newest type. Okay, so when you are using a T3, they would have attached like a different architecture of the underlying machines. So this is one of the latest one. So you need to. I'll send a link. Uh, just give me. Can you open this link? So if you see here, so recently like AWS started supporting Mac also, so you can run an Apple OS with uh, as a EC2 instance, but it is a bare metal and this is more costly. So please don't try. Uh, so it will add a bill to your pay, to your credit card or something. So don't try this for now. Like it is too costly. Okay, so as I mentioned, like we have a T3, T3A, T2, and these are all. So and these are the different types. On the left side menu, we have general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, accelerated, storage optimized, and instance features. So general purpose is like they have a burst limit. Burst limit in sense. So if you scroll down, yeah, if you scroll down, so these are the features they have. Yeah, scroll up like little bit. Scroll up little bit. Yeah, okay. These are the features. They place the system on the Xenon processor system, and they have a burstable CPUs and credits we will have. So I will explain what is a burstable CPU and other things going forward. So compute optimized is like CPU optimized EC2 instances. So there are like we do have some workloads that needs CPU based workloads. So when we are having that kind of applications, we will choose compute optimized system. And there are like memory optimized system where the RAM is more important than the CPU. So when we are doing these kind of things, like we will use memory optimized instance types. So accelerated is a combination of both CPU and memory. So these kind of things we will be using for machine learning and other kind of stuff. So these will have like a lot of CPU, GPU, and everything. So if you are developing a game or something, like you can use these kind of things. So, but these are all like very costly. We for now we will stick with general purpose. I just wanted to give the overview of instance types that is available in a EC2 machine. So can we go to the dashboard here? So and if you wanted to create an free image, so whatever the type that has free tier eligible, please choose that image and yeah, check, give a checkbox, tick on the checkbox. Okay, so when you are seeing, so we need to understand what vCPU is. So vCPU is called virtual CPUs. How it is there in our missions. So we know like we will say about uh, quad core processor and dual processor. So we'll say like that, right? Like this is a type of that. It has one CPU and memory is like the 1 GB of RAM, and it uses EBS storage. So I will say like what EBS storage is, and it supports IPv6. So next, click on configure instance details. So uh, this is this is where like we need to configure our instance placement. So instance placement instance, like where you need to add the instance, and so we have created a VPC during our last class, right? So if you click on the network, the first, yeah, so it will list all the VPC. Yes, click on the let's learn. Okay, and it will list all the subnets that we have created on that day. So yeah, list that. Okay, so as there is currently one subnet available, we will stick with that. Click on that. Let's leave it. And if you are creating your own subnets, you will not have an option to auto assign the IP. You need to enable it in the subnet level. If you are not enabling, you need to enable it here. So drop down, and in the drop down, yeah, click on enable. Okay, so placement group, capacity reservation, these kind of things, like mostly like you will not be needing that. And so placement group is like we will segregate like the group and where we need to place the instances. So this gives you like so these are all like cost involved things. For now, like we don't need to deep dive into. Okay. So IAM role, the one we will use regularly, but for now I'm not touching that. So in upcoming classes, we will let you know what IAM role and how to use it with the EC2 instance. Okay, and the rest of the things, like you can leave as it is. Go to add storage. So this is where like so when you create a, so for example, if you're buying a laptop, you will have a processor and everything. Now we need to add a storage to this. Okay, storage to your laptop. So in that case, this is where you will set up the storage. So this value is called a root volume. So we can give up to 30 GB for free tier. Whatever goes beyond 30 GB is chargeable. Uh, let's give like 20 GB. So you can add multiple volumes, but we are not going to do that. If you need additional volumes for different purposes, we can add those volumes also. So if you see this, this is how a device will get attached in the Linux system or into the virtual machine. Okay. If you click on volume type, the so yeah, if you click on that, we will be having general purpose SSD, provisioned IOPS SSD, and magnetic standard. So magnetic standard is the old method which we were using past like 10 to 15 years back. So these are our like HDD devices. We used to call as HDD, right? So that is called a magnetic devices. So general purpose, we have GP2 and GP3. So the latest version of SSD, general purpose SSD, is GP3.
Bhupati, it is not audible.
Uh, is it audible now? Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, it is audible,
Yeah,
sir.
it is audible.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So GP3 is the latest version of uh, volume type. So we can go with GP3. So GP3 uses NVMe disk type. Okay, where you can give the IOPS and throughput. Okay. Next, no, next, click on uh, select the volume type and provisioned IOPS. Provisioned IOPS is like so where you will get higher input and output operations. Okay, so this will like incur a lot of cost. So you are not recommended to use it. Let's have it for the studying purpose. So select GP2 itself. Don't use GP3. Okay. Yeah. And so if delete on termination, if it is checked, so once you are terminating the EC2 instance, even this particular EBS volume will get deleted. Okay, if you are not checking this, okay, so that particular EBS volume will not get deleted. If the EBS volume is not used, you will be charged for the storage that is available. Okay, yeah, and this is like encryption. We can encrypt or decrypt the EBS volume. So uh, for nowadays, like as we are using the data in the cloud environment, it's mandatory to have a secured way. So the one advantage is like your data will be encrypted when it is like in the rest state. So we need to use encryption. For now, like we don't want to use an encryptions. Okay. Yeah. Next, go to add tags. Uh, tags. So when it comes to tags, like tags is for adding the so tags with AWS. Adding tags is one of the key. So it has like a key value. You can this will give like a segregation, and when we are doing the billing and everything, so you can able to segregate, or like you can create a subcategories based on the tags. So that is these kind of options they support. And with tags, like we can do lot of operations, like when we are automating few stuff, like tags are the main thing like we will be using. Based on the tag names and values, we will do like lot of operations on that particular services. So for now, like we will add some tag. So can you click on add tags? Yeah. So we can give name, capital NAME, capital N and AME. Yeah. In that value, you can give let's learn EC2 instance. Yeah, that's all. So like this, like you can add like 50 tags to the maximum. Okay. Yeah. Next, click on configure security group. Okay. So last week we were discussing about NACL and security groups, right? So NACL, the main purpose of NACL is to it acts like a firewall where inbound and outbound traffics will be monitored. So this is like a security group which will be attached to the instance level, and this will monitor only the inbound traffic. So it's like a stateless. So it will monitor only the inbound traffic. It will drop only the packets that are trying to come in. It will not drop the packets which are outbound. Okay, which are trying to go out. For now, like we can create a new security group, but by default, when we're creating a VPC, or by default VPC, we will have a default security group. For now, like we can create our own security group. So can you give a security group name, like let's learn security group. So
Hey, where should I give?
security
Yeah.
group name. Can you type the security group name? Yeah, remove that launch wizard one, right? Yeah, remove that and give let's learn security group. So you cannot use capital letters or space. You cannot use space. You can use dash, not underscore, dash. Space SG. Give just SG, meaning security group. Yeah. Okay. And so while we are creating the security group, the first thing we need to identify is like adding the rules to it. Okay. The rules. So these are the rules like that is there now. So for a Linux based instance, SSH is the only way that we can connect to that particular instance. So when it comes to Windows, RDP is the uh, type of rule that allows you to connect to the connection via RDP. Okay. So this has like a predefined type, and also like you can add a custom type also. So this SSH is a predefined type, and it is using protocol TCP, and the port range is 22, by default SSH will listen on port 22. That's why like we are giving port 22. And source will this is where like where when a request comes in, whether it should allow or not, it will be taken care by this source. So for now, like, can you click on anywhere? Yeah. So if you give anywhere, like if it is 0.0.0, any IP or any IP can connect to this instance. So if you click on my IP in the source, if you click on my IP, it will automatically fetches the public IP address of your system. Okay. And when a request come from this system only, like it can allow, or else like it will not allow you to log in. Let's stick with anywhere because we don't want to. Yeah, if you see when you are selecting anywhere, it is giving you a warning. Rules with source 00 allow all IP addresses to access your instance. We recommend setting the security group to allow for the known IP addresses only. Why this warning is coming is like so if you are setting this as a open, anyone from the outside world can try to reach your system and they can hack. So if you are like adding the trusted IPs, your system it will not be exposed publicly, so that uh, the the one who has an access can only connect to this particular EC2 instance. That's why this message is warning is coming, but we can use 0.0 if needed. So yeah, if you need to add an extra rules, if you click on add rule, you will get the second row. Yeah. So for now, like it is using custom TCP. So can you click on the Dropbox custom TCP first one? Yeah. So these are the different type of predefined rules that are available. All TCP is like all the TCP protocol will be allowed. All UDP instance, like all the UDP protocol are allowed. All IMCP protocol is like we ping. We will check whether the server is working or not. We will use ICMP for ping and test. For ping test, we will be using ICMP. So by default, all ICMP and other things will be blocked by AWS. These are all not allowed. If you wanted a specific purpose, you need to allow it. So all traffic instance, all TCP, UDP, ICMP, and whatever the protocols that are available, those will be allowed. That is called all traffic. You should not use all traffic and all unless it is required. Okay. Yeah. So like that, like we will be having lot of other things. So for for now, like we don't need to worry about. Yeah. So can you like click on that X button on the second row? Yes. Yeah. Now go to the review and launch. So when you come to this step, it will list out all the things that we were doing in the previous steps. Okay. Once you finalized everything is okay, you can click on launch. Okay. So this is a key pair. Key pair is Amazon does not provide you password based authentication by default. Uh, it is like a key based authentication. So you need to create your own key while you are creating the system. Yeah, create a new key pair and gives a valid key pair name that you can remember. Any name you can give. Okay. Make sure, yeah, download the key pair. Yeah. Okay. Make sure this key pair is available with you. If you lose this key pair, you cannot be able to log in into the system. So make sure this key pair is the key pair is more important. you cannot lose this. If you lose this, there are ways you can retrieve the instance information, but most of the scenarios we will be deleting the instance where we lose our keys. So please make sure like this key is saved somewhere safely. Okay, and now click on launch instance. Okay, yeah. So can you scroll down and click on view instance? Okay, so when you come here, like your instance will be getting provisioned. So if you see the instance state is in pending, it will take like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so it is running and it will take like 5 to 10 minutes to do all the pre checks and everything. So in the status check column, like you will see 2 bar 2. Uh, 2 bar 2. So once you see that your system is correctly placed and every status checks are being done and it is working perfectly. Okay. So can you can you scroll the yeah, can you click on the double dash underneath, below. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so this is where you like you will be getting all the information about this particular EC2 instance. So in the details section, you will see the instance ID and the public IP address that got assigned. Okay, and the private address that got assigned from the subnet. Okay, and on which VPC and which subnet this particular instance got placed. All these information will be shown here. Okay, and also it shows like what type of instance type you're using, what is the AMI ID, and what platform, it's a Linux, and so what is the termination policy, protection policy, so what is the key pair you used. So these kind of things you'll be getting on this screen. Okay, so yeah, so can you click on the security. Yeah. So this shows the security group which we have allowed and what is the inbound and outbound rule. So if you scroll down, like you can see the inbound and outbound rules. So outbound rule will be all, and zero. So because it is allowing all the traffic to go out of this system. So that's why we are using this. Okay. And so, can you scroll up and uh, go to storage. So storage, when a EC2 instance created, like as I mentioned, a EBS volume will be created. So this is the volume information. So that got created. So can you click on the volume ID and open it in a new tab? Yeah. So yeah, if you go come here and you can see all the information regarding the volume. So this is the volume ID and to which region availability zone it is created. So mostly like volumes will be created on the same availability zone of the EC2 instance. So if you select US East to C is the availability zone, your EC2 instance and also the EBS volume will be placed under the same availability zone. Okay, and what type of volume it is, and attachment info, so to which EC2 instance that got attached, so it shows in the attachment information. Multi attached enabled is no. If you give a multi enabled attachment, so the same EBS volume can be attached to multiple EC2 instances. So if you enable that, it will allow you to attach to multiple EC2 instance. But this is a root volume. Root volume in sense like the main hard disk that you have in your system. So this system, the main hard disk will not be shared across. So you cannot enable multi-attachable. But if you are adding an additional EBS volume to the EC2 instances, you can enable this option. Okay, the one good feature like AWS recently brought in is like you can dynamically increase the size of a EBS volume. So you can, so for example, if you run out of memory, uh, your 20 GB is used, so you can extend the storage to 10 GB extra without restarting the system or without making any changes to the running system. You can directly scale the size of the EBS storage. Okay. Yes. So as I told, like when everything goes good, like you will see the 2 bar 2 check passed. So can you, if you click on status check now, so in the under below that, the detail section, yeah, next to storage. Can you scroll up? Yeah, next to storage. Yes. So status check. So basically, AWS do like two kind of status check. One is a system status check, and one is a instance status check. So system status check like detects like it will check all the components for the EC2 instance is working fine, and it is not experiencing any issues like network is correctly attached and the system can uh, able to ping and get the information. So the network is working and every component that are like needed or attached correctly. The instance reachability test is like so where the system is placed, so whether that particular EC2 placed hypervisor or virtual or the system. So we in server form we will be having hardware, right? Whether the system is placed on a correct hardware and that particular hardware is working correctly. So if that hardware gets failed, you will see the issue. To fix that issue, what you need to do is like you need to stop and create the stop and start the instance so that it will place the EC2 instance on another hardware so that this issue will be rectified. Okay, and you can start, stop, and terminate the instance. Okay, so to do that, like if you click on actions on the top, actions on the top. So next to launch this instance on the top, on the right side corner, top. Yeah, next, yeah, actions. So you can change the settings, and you can. So these are all like different sections. So you can terminate, attach a new security group, auto scaling group. So these kind of things like we'll do from here. And instance state. Can you click on instance state? Yeah. So you can start, reboot, and terminate the instance. So once the instance is stopped, you can start. Reboot, like it's like a soft reboot, whatever we are doing on the restart. One thing you need to make sure while you are stop and start the instance, when you give a stop, the public IP address that got assigned will change. So can you click on the details in the instance section below? So, can you click on the details? Uh, I think it is in the details section. So below.
Below here, sir. Yeah,
Yeah, in the left. Yeah, details.
I couldn't able to see that.
Details in the first that
Okay,
first
sorry.
section.
Sir. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay. This public IP address will get changed once you stop and start. So let's see an example. So can you give a instance stop instance? Yes. The IP was 191.77 before. Once the system gets stopped, so this IP will get changed. So can you refresh? Yeah, click on that instance checkbox. Click on the checkbox. So let's wait for, yeah, it stopped. Okay. So can you refresh the screen? Okay. And click on the instance checkbox. Checkbox instance. Yes. So if you see like the public IP address that got assigned has been removed. So when you stop and start the instance, the public IP address will get changed regularly. So make sure if you're stopping and starting the instance, make sure the public IP address you're getting the right public IP address to get connected. So now click on instance state and can start the instance. Let's give like 1 minute. So meanwhile, like can you open the mobile external?
Yeah, sir, is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah, can you click on the new session? Yeah. Can you go and get the IP address of the EC2? I think you need to go to the, yeah, okay. Okay. So you need to specify the username. By default, that particular system has a username, EC2 dash user. EC2, everything is in small. EC2 dash user. Okay. Click on advanced SSH setting. Okay. So click on use private key checkbox. Yeah. Select the downloaded private key. Can you click on that? Yeah, it will open a, yes. Click from downloads. Select that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Click on OK. Press enter. Can you click on the? Can you double click on the? Yeah. Yeah. So now you are inside the system. Okay. So this is how like you will be connected to the EC2 instance. Okay. So now we are planning to upgrade the system. So everyone knows how to install a package uh, on the Linux machines, right? So you should have practiced during the Linux class. I hope everyone would have tried that.
Sir, pip install.
Pip install is for Python install, but the Linux basic install is,
It is a yum install, like sudo yum
yes.
install.
Sudo.
Okay. So when you connect into the EC2 instance, you'll be connected as a EC2 user. So there are like lot different kind of users we can create, but by default there will be two type of users. One is an EC2 user and another one is a root user. So root user have like all privileges. It's like an administrator, and EC2 will also have can also become a part of an admin user, but it's not admin user by default. You can make an EC2 user to come as a admin user. For that, like we will issue the command called sudo, sudo, sudo space su. So what we are doing is like sudo is like a admin user and su is switch user. So I am switching the user as a root. Can you give enter, sir? Yeah. So if you see, like it is switched the user as a root user. Now you will have all privileges to install and update the packages. So can you issue yum space update space dash y. Yeah, give enter. So what we are doing now is like we are updating the packages which are not upgraded recently. So in our case, this particular EC2 instance uh, got updated with all the necessary packages already. So it is suggesting us there is no package to update. So we are good. Our system is like got up to date with the OSs they are released. Okay. Now we are planning to install an Apache server, web server. Okay. Uh, with when we are using an Red Hat system, the Apache server installation is yum install space httpd pd, yeah, space dash y. So now we are installing the Apache server, web server. So you need to make sure like you are knowing the packages. You can search in the Google to know about the package name based on the OS. So with Amazon Linux, like HTTPD is a package name, but with Apache, whoever is using Ubuntu, there it will be like Apache 2. So you need to install like Apache 2. So this is how a system, we'll be installing the Apache servers. And all the packages, whatever you need to install, you have to install by this way. For now, like we are installing only the Tomcat server, or not a Tomcat application server, it's a web server. It's an Apache web server. Okay, so this have once you see the complete message, it had installed Apache onto your system. So you need to make sure whether this Apache is installed, and whenever you install a server, there will be a service that is running in the background. Make sure all the it will be listening whether whatever the connection that is coming in. Okay, so can you give service HTTPD status? Yeah, give enter. Okay, so if you see here, it shows the Apache server. If you are not seeing this message, it will throw like there is no command called HTTPD. So if it throws that kind of error, we obviously know that particular software is not installed. Even if you install some softwares that will not run as a service, So that will not be activated. So if you see the active state is inactive or dead, which meaning like this is not running. Okay. So can you give an up arrow? Up arrow. No, no. Click up arrow. Just give an up arrow from your keyboard. Yeah. Remove the status and give start. Yes. So now give. So select the up arrow. Go to status. Yeah. Give. Select the up arrow one other time. Another time. Yeah. Okay. Give enter. Now, if you see, the service is active and it is running, and now it is accepting the connections. So there are like different child process that also got started, and that will be listening. Okay, so now we need to access this particular instance from our web server. So can you go to the web server and paste the public IP address? Can you go to the dashboard and
Yeah.
copy the public IP?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's one. Yes,
Okay.
and paste it in the browser.
Browser itself. Okay.
Yeah, in the browser itself.
One sec.
In the new tab.
Yes, sir. I just.
So we know like we have installed the web server and we are trying to connect to that web server, but it is not working. Why? Because the security group, in the security group, like we didn't allow what port. So to which port like we need to accept the request. So as I mentioned before, you need to enable everything in the security group in order to accept the request from the outside world. If not, like it will not allow you to access whatever the services that are running. So let it be there, sir. Go
Yes,
to
sir.
the AWS dashboard.
Yes, sir.
Click on security and click on the security group. Yeah. Okay. Now we are going to edit the inbound rule. Edit inbound rule. The left side, you'll see. Edit. So for now, like we are saying the rule that we are attached to while creating the instance. Now we are adding the rule. So can you click on add rule and select HTTP. So as we know, like by default, HTTP. So web browsers or web servers will run on particularly two port ranges. Anyone knows like what are the port range? On which port the HTTP or web servers will run?
Like for the host, we know 8080. I don't know other than that, sir. For local host,
No,
we
so
usually use.
that is not a web server. So anyone knows
Port
like
80.
what is a okay and another port? What is another port? What are the two other protocols that web server uses? One is HTTP and another one is so web server runs on two protocols, which is HTTP and HTTPS. So for HTTP it is 80, and for HTTPS it is 443. So these two are primarily supported by the web servers. Okay. Yes, sir. So now after adding that and yeah, here like give anywhere IPv4. Yeah, and save the rule. Okay. Yeah. Now you can go to the browser and So where you have placed the public IP address. So yeah, now enter. See, now the system, so you are connected to the system, and whatever the server that you installed, and test page is been shown here. So now what we do is, like, as a last step, we will install a PHP package, and we will get the PHP info on this page. Okay, yeah. So can you go to the mobile system? Okay. So can you give PHP? Type command PHP. So it's not working.
Yes, it's not working.
Okay. Can you click on? Can you right click and start the session again? Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
the
the
session
session got stopped.
stopped.
Yeah. Close this and restart the session.
Should I close this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, close this also. Double click on that. Yeah. Now give PHP space -v. Enter. So now we see, like, PHP command not found, meaning the PHP is not installed into this system. So can you give sudo and su? Give enter. Sir. Yeah. Now we are going to install a PHP. Okay. Yum install yum. No,
Okay,
yum
sorry.
package manager. Yum install, not PHP. Yum install. Remove the PHP. Yum install space PHP PHP space -y.
Hyphen
Y.
Y.
Yeah. So what y is called? It will not ask whether to install or not. So we are giving yes as an input. So if you are not giving that, it will go. It will list all the packages, and it will ask for the information whether you need to proceed or not. Again, you need to give y. So instead of while we are automating, like, we'll be giving this, and now while giving y, it will take it as yes, and it will automatically install all the things that you have given in the install. So that's why, like, we are giving -y. Okay. Yeah. So if you scroll down, like, PHP would have got installed. So, and it will install all the dependencies required for the PHP. So now issue the command PHP space -v. Yeah. Now we see, like, we have installed this particular version of PHP into the system. Okay. If you wanted to, like, add or allow the access, you need to run your own PHP script. Okay. So by default, in a Linux machine, you will have a path where the particular folder will be created. From there only, like, you need to make these changes. So can you give cd space slash, it's a forward slash var slash www slash html. So when you install an Apache server, this particular folder will be created automatically by the Apache while you are installing the Apache. So when you are using Ubuntu system, this particular path may vary. In some versions of Ubuntu system, you can see /var www HTML. In some versions of Ubuntu system, you could see /var htdocs. So it depends upon the OS version that we are using. So you need to make sure or go through how to install Apache and PHP on different machines that you are trying to use. So now we are targeting only on Amazon Linux, and this is the path where you will add the files. So when it comes to an EC2 instance, there is no UI attached, so you cannot use any UI when it comes to Linux when you're running a Linux as a server. All the things you need to run is like from as a command. Okay, so you need to know all the basic Linux command to work with EC2 instance. So this is more important. Please start studying the Linux if you wanted to practice more on uh, any of the clouds. So it is not with AWS. If you go into any cloud, this is the way you need to play only using command line. There is no other option. You cannot use you cannot have a GUI installed as how we are doing on our virtual machines. So in our local system in virtual machine, we will install GUI based Linux. So where you will see all the graphic user interface. But when it comes to server, we will not have any GUI installed. So everything will be the black screen, and you need to type the command, and you need to play with the commands. Okay, so to create a file, we are going to create an index.php file. So sir, can you give touch space index.php, enter. So what this particular command does is like it will create a empty file called index.php. Can you give ls? Enter. See, that particular file have been created. So now I am a Vim user, so I am using Vim as a editing tool. So can you click on so type Vim space Vim space index.php. So this opens a file, and you need to edit. So can you click on can you type I just I. So if you wanted to play with Vim, you need to understand the basic. So it will open the file. To insert, you need to type I, so that it will change the status as insert, and then only you can able to add text into this. So so I'm sending the snippet code. So can you add this? PHP. I'm adding in the WebEx chat.
Sir, only this part PHP info.
Oh yeah, that's right. Can you type that for me?
Yeah.
PHP.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Now, after writing this, if you wanted to save and exit, press escape, colon. So type colon.
Sir, it's not working. Like, yeah.
Okay, then type WQ.
WQ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think, can you give escape?
Escape. Yeah.
Escape,
Yeah. Given.
okay. Escape, colon, WQ.
Colon. It's not taking colon.
I think it's recording. So can you give enter?
Yeah. No, sir.
It's not taking.
Escape colon. Press escape.
So I think
It
so
is the session got
recording.
stuck.
Yeah. Can you give a Q again? Can you give a Q again?
Yes, sir. Q.
Press Q again. Yeah. Okay. Now give colon.
Escape colon star
Escape colon
WQ.
WQ.
Escape colon double Q. Yeah.
WQ.
WQ, not double Q. WQ.
W for wicket and then Q.
Yeah, sir. Still not
Colon
working.
WQ.
Not working, sir. Still. Escape colon WQ.
I think it's not taking that. So if you wanted to do this, you need to do it again.
Escape colon WQ, Ravi. Escape colon WQ.
Yeah. Given that.
It should quit. That is a quit instruction.
It's not good. It's not taking properly, sir. Sorry for that. I don't know.
Top of that, you close the window. Yes, close it. Now you try once again. Click up arrow on keyboard.
Yeah, it's not taking now, sir, because it's empty now.
Okay. You create once again same instructions. PHP space test.php. What is the program name you have given?
Index.php, sir.
PHP space index.php. Sorry, Vim space. Vim space. Not taking. Okay, start the session.
So like
Yes, Ravi. Vim space index.php. Press enter. Yes. Escape colon I. Insert. Yes. Now you type the program. PHP program. Less than question mark. Space. Echo. Escape colon WQ. Escape colon WQ. For West Indies, wicket. Escape colon WQ. Not working.
And enter.
Escape colon at once.
Sir, or we can just make use of nano, right, sir?
Yeah, nano also we can.
While pressing colon, hold shift and press colon.
Okay. Escape colon.
WQ.
Yeah, WQ enter works.
Thanks. Yeah.
Sorry. I just
No props. PHP space
PHP space
index.php.
Yes, sir.
You got the information, right? Indexing. It's all indexing about PHP. Simple instruction. Or you can try, you want to print a message, you can try, you open another program, Vim space, index1.php, index1.php, press enter, escape I:9, insert.
Oh, sorry. Insert. Yes.
Yes. Less than question mark, PHP, press enter. Echo, 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 space, double quotes, hello learners, hello learners, learners, after the double quotes, semicolon. Press enter, question mark greater than. Yes, escape colon WQ, escape colon WQ, enter. Yes, now PHP space index1.php. What the message? Hello learners, right? So now
Yes,
you
sir.
executed a PHP program on your virtual machine. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
like this, dear friends, you can create various instances on Ubuntu and Linux, and you can install PHP, Python, C, C++, even C programs you can run through VM editor. You have to give .c extension, and you can type C program and you can execute C programs in various programming languages. So this is using EC2 instance. You have created virtual machine now. On virtual machine, you have run the different programs using PHP. So try all of you. You can try different programs on PHP and you can run programs. Okay. Any doubts in this so far? Anybody? Yes, no.
Mm.
So go to dashboard, your instance, EC2 dashboard. Yeah, you can click on instances, what is running. You can see the instances that are running. Click on instances, right side, EC2 instances. Yes, click there. Yeah, now this instance is running. You want to stop the instance, you want to delete the instance. Go to above actions on the top, actions, click there. Not instant state, sorry, Ravi, instant state. Yeah, instant state, stop instance, reboot instance, terminate instance. Three options are there. If you want to continue the same instance for creating a virtual machine for Ubuntu or Windows, you can use the same instance without creating the instance again. A reboot is it restarts with the instance, entire instance. Okay, you can change the some settings. You want to change the settings, you can reboot. Terminate is completely deleting the instance from the your virtual cloud, virtual private cloud. So this is about EC2 instance, my dear friends. All of you practice EC2, creating EC2 instance with Ubuntu and Windows. Okay, you can get some videos on YouTube. So please try with that. Next session we are going to show you how to create instance with Ubuntu and Windows also. Okay.